Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sorry about the tone of the voice, but I feel very frustrated because I watched Apos' recent video, his response to Farid's video. Earlier today, Farid uploaded a video in which he exposed Apos' deception. I recommend everyone to go and watch it. Then later today, Apos uploaded a 16 minutes response. And it was, an Apos video. The frustration I got is not from watching Apos video because I know how stupid he is. So no stupidity, no deception coming from him is going to surprise me. I'm frustrated because I read the comment section of that video. And even though I have a very low expectations of Apos fans in terms of intellectual ability, but at least I expected some of Apos fans to say to him, "No, Apos, this isn't right. I mean, we are your sheep, but this is way too much." But nothing of that sort happened. Anyway, let's go and watch what Apos said.
In any case, I made a video about this in October 2019, around 2.5 years ago, addressing the claim that this is a general truth. 2 days ago, he responded by saying that he never claimed that it was a general truth.
Nothing wrong with that so far, right? You have seen in the video, which he himself showed, that I'm merely responding to the claim that this is certainly from his perspective by saying, sorry, there is nothing in this verse or in the wording which indicates that this is from his perspective. So reading it, you get the impression that this is a description of things that are actually happening. A general truth, an objective reality. I have never said that the wording used here can only exclusively be used for a general truth. That's not at all what I'm claiming. That would be a completely different argument. What I'm saying is that on a plain reading, that's what you understand. And there is no indication of any subjective observations. I would, however, never go ahead and claim that the wording must 100% indicate that a literal setting in a muddy spring is described here. This is merely what I'm taking from the circumstantial evidence, arguing that the wording can only refer to a general truth or can only refer to a subjective observation is a false claim. That's what's happening here, Farid. Do you understand it now? Please, tell me you understand it now. This is very simple. I have never, ever made the claim that this wording here can exclusively refer to an objective reality, a general truth. I'm merely saying that there is no indication here at all that it doesn't refer to a general truth, an objective reality, that it does definitely refer to a subjective observation. Please, man, please, you're giving me pain and suffering with this stupidity.
Okay, let's stop here. Now, if you haven't watched Ridvan's video on the sun setting on a murky spring or a muddy spring, and you only watched this video of his, you'll get the impression that 3 years ago Ridvan uploaded a video to respond to some Muslim apologists who say that this is definitely subjective. And Ridvan uploaded a video to say to them, guys, no, be fair, guys. You can't say it's 100% subjective. No, you can't say that. And I also can't say it's 100% objective. I can't claim that it's a general truth, and you two should not claim that it's subjective. But if we read the text, I personally believe that it's, referring to a general truth. So I am, Apos, simply making this video to respond to your claims, which says that this is definitely 100%. If you read the text, you will get the conclusion that this is subjective, 100%. There is no other interpretation. First of all, there isn't a single Muslim in the entire history of Islam who said that if you read this verse from a linguistic point of view, it is impossible to take it literally. Anyone who knows Arabic will understand that the word found can refer to a physical reality or can refer to a subjective thing. So the first point is Ridwan's claim that he is responding to Muslims who say that this is certainly from a linguistic point of view, this is definitely talking about something subjective, is ridiculous, because this claim has never been made in the history. What Muslims are saying is that this word could be read in a subjective way. So if you want to falsify the Quran, claiming that the Quran is definitely saying that the sun was sitting in a muddy spring, Muslim says, no, that's wrong, because this wajada could be read in a subjective way. Now let's come to the most important part.
Come to number 2 of those apologetics. Many say that the translation is simply not clear and that you need to read it in a context, that the word used for finding it actually describes the situation only from Dhul Qarnayn's perspective, not as a general truth. So when the Quran verse here says he found it setting in a muddy spring, it means that he saw it that way, not that the sun actually sets in a muddy spring. First off, as a lover of linguistics, I have to say that that's absolute garbage.
So let's stop here. We talked about this before, but this time let's emphasize on some points. After Ridwan presented the interpretation that this is subjective, he said this.
First off, as a lover of linguistics, I have to say that that's absolute garbage.
So this is garbage not from circumstantial evidences, it's garbage from a linguistic perspective. But remember what Apos said in today's video.
I would, however, never go ahead and claim that the wording must 100% indicate that a literal setting in a muddy spring is described here. This is merely what I'm taking from the circumstantial evidence.
But here he's talking about the wording. He said, as a lover of linguists, this argument that it's subjective is garbage.
First off, as a lover of linguistics, I have to say that that's absolute garbage.
Now let's carry on.
But in order to refute such apologetics, I can do 3 things.
Now please pay attention. He's going now to give us 3 ways he's going to refute this argument.
Look at other translations. Compare the word to other verses.
Hold on. You're going to compare the word to other verses. And that somehow is going to be a refutation of the argument that it's subjective. Wait, let's calm down. Let's start again. In today's video, Ridwan claimed that he never ever claimed that the wording of the verse can only refer to a general truth. He said he never said that. In this clip we just watched, he presented the argument that this is subjective. He called it garbage from a linguistic point of view. And he said he was going to refute it by comparing the word wajada in other verses. Why would you do that? What's the purpose of that? Okay, in other verses it can be objective, in other verses it can be subjective. Are you listening, Ridwan fanboys? Here is your big daddy Apos saying that this is the interpretation of Muslims, but this interpretation is garbage from a linguistic point of view, and I'm going to show you why it's garbage. I'm going to show you other places, other verses where the word wajada is referring to a physical reality. If Apos didn't think that the word wajada can only refer to a physical reality, then why does he think, showing other verses where the word wajada is referring to a physical reality is a refutation of the Muslim argument that in the case of Dhul Qarnayn, it was not referring to a physical reality? It's very simple, right? Ridwan is saying to you, the word wajada can only refer to a physical reality. And here is the evidence. Look at other verses where the word wajada can only refer to physical realities.
If we want to look at the word used here for finding is wajadaha, which means he found it. Wajada means he found. Now, we don't even have to go far. The same word is used again in the same verse. When it says, he found near it a people. He found here is wajada. It's the exact same word. So is this as if now? He didn't really find those people. It was only as if he found those people. Let's go a few verses forward. The same word is used here, where he comes to the rising of the sun, and he finds the sun rising over a people. Is this now as if the sun was rising over those people? How does that even make sense? Finally, few verses later, this is getting interesting, he finds people who can't understand his language. By the logic of modern apologists, did he not really find people there? Did it only appear to him that way? Were they his hallucination? Was Dhul-Qarnayn high on mushrooms? Let's change the Quran verse. Until when he reached a pass between two mountains, he found beside them a people who could hardly understand his speech. But they weren't really there. Dhul-Qarnayn was just high again. Quran chapter 18 verse 93.
There you go. Apos here showed several verses where the word wajada referred to physical reality, and he is claiming that this is a refutation of the Islamic interpretation that Dhul-Qarnayn didn't see the sun setting in a muddy spring literally. In other words, Ridwan fanboys, and I know this is very, very difficult for you, but try it. If you use your mind, if you use your brain, if you have any, then your big daddy Apos called the interpretation which says that Dhul-Qarnayn didn't see the sun setting in a muddy spring literally, he called it garbage from a linguistic point of view. From a linguistic point of view, not from circumstantial perspective. The second point, your big daddy Apos showed other verses where the word wajada was used in a literal sense to refute the argument that Dhul-Qarnayn did not see the sun setting in a muddy spring literally. Which means that your big daddy Apos did argue that the word wajada can only refer to a general truth. He doesn't need to say it literally. Apos doesn't need to come out and say, I believe that the word wajada can only refer to a general truth. No, he doesn't have to do that. We can conclude from his argument what he is arguing, because unlike you guys, we have brains. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much for watching. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.